to my house, and we are about halfway through the Big Alta 50K. The studio is set up here, Marinwood, California, Peachstone Terrace, the center of the trail running universe. Today, I am joined, of course, by my co-hosts for the weekend, Paddy O'Leary, David Lamb. Gentlemen, how are we doing this morning? This afternoon, I guess.
We just got to enjoy watching some great racing this morning.
Yeah,
we're excited to chat through it.
We had all the easy work. All we did was stand around and cheer people on all morning.
With quite a bit of heckling as well.
A lot of heckling.
We're going to get to all of our observations from out on the race course here momentarily, but of course we also have to introduce the double champion sneaking away from the cattle ranch in Kremling to come smash the Big Alta for the second year in a row. Eli and Tabor Hemming. Thank you guys for coming back. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us back.
We're excited to be here again.
How are we feeling now, whatever it is, an hour or so removed from your amazing victories?
Right now, I feel okay. I think tomorrow I might not feel that great, but, you know.
You should definitely video get me off this couch.
We'll keep the live stream going to see you guys leaving the studio here. But both putting on just such impressive performances, and we want to hear all about it. Maybe getting started here, Tony's going to pull up a clip of Eli coming up over the top of Big Rock Ridge, a clip that I shot, not to brag. I kept up with Eli for about 5 minutes here. So this is coming up over the top. We're just going to jump straight into it here. Again, we are experimenting with a new type of race coverage where we're doing our daily trailgating shows and then trying to also implement some of the action that we observed out on the race course here today. So this was roughly mile 16 or so, coming up over the top of the highest point on the race course. So maybe throwing it to you first, Eli. Just bring us into the first half of the race while our audience watches this, because at this point you had probably about a 1 minute gap. So you had broken the elastic on the second climb. So maybe just catch everybody up to what happened to where they see you here on the course.
Yeah, I mean, at least until the first aid station, we had a pretty gnarly group. Everybody was running together, but we were running kind of awkwardly fast. Like that first climb, I kind of like looked down like, I know I ran this fast last year, but this is, if we do anything like this for the rest of the race, it is going to be way faster.
Yeah.
And so we all, like, I think there was a pack of like 4 or 5 of us coming into the first aid station. I see Eddie Owens like lap his watch, and I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Like we're about to get
we're
it
time
right
trialing the climb, yeah.
And so we like start going up like the gradual part of the climb, and he's up there, but he was not like pushing. I was like, oh, he's not pushing too hard. Like I thought he was about to just like take off. I'm like, huh? I got excited. I might as well go.
Yeah.
see what happens. See how everybody's feeling on the steeper climb. So as soon as it got steep, I went up to the front, started pushing, just to see kind of what everybody had, what they wanted to do. I kind of call it the dangerous pace of like, it's a pace fast enough that you can't run the whole way.
Yeah.
And it might blow yourself up. I went dangerous fast up that, just to kind of see like how everybody was doing.
And it seemed like David stuck with you there on the climb because you guys were basically together at the Big Rock Aid Station, then on the other side.
Yep.
Did he catch back up on the descent, or did he stick with you the whole climb?
Yeah, so he was with me up until you get through a cattle gate, just like not far from the finish.
Yeah.
And he was breathing pretty hard, and so I was like, all right, like how much further will he hold on to?
Yeah.
So I was messing with him a little bit.
Yeah,
I pushed pretty hard just to the top of the climb just to see like, is he gonna hold on or is he just gonna like? I didn't know if he was just like marking me like anything I do, he's gonna go to the end of the earth just to follow what I'm doing, or if he's like gonna play a little bit smarter than dangerous pace.
Yeah.
So I had like maybe, I don't know, 5-10 second gap when we got to the very top, and then kind of just let him catch back up. We ran together into the aid station. Mm-hmm. And then right after
it was pretty quick there that you got a gap. Actually, Tony got some great photos of you guys leaving, and you can see that the gap had already built to, you estimated about 20 seconds, Tony, by the time you were only like whatever, a half mile out of the Big Rock Aid Station. And then you proceeded to dominate this climb that our audience is watching here. And obviously there's some people in the chat concerned about David. We did see David out on the course. He did have to drop, unfortunately, but he is, I think, healthy and in good spirits, just not his day here today. This is Eli, though, coming up to the true high point of the course. And I'm sure they've noticed at this point that it was pretty foggy. It was great running conditions.
Yes.
But this cloud was just kind of sitting on the top of the Big Alta. You can start seeing the radio towers coming into visibility here, which is where I pretty much collapsed and almost died after running with you for 5 minutes. So maybe just kind of fill the story out, because eventually we're going to see you go off into the distance here. You plow all the way down to Chicken Shack, where I think you had again, it was only about a 2-minute lead, I think. Yeah. So then, of course, at the end, it was 7 or so. So again, it was a great home stretch for you also.
Yeah, I think this is kind of one of those 50Ks that the last 5 miles matters so much.
Yeah.
So if you go into Chicken Shack feeling at least kind of on edge, it's going to be a tough climb for you.
Yep.
So, and it's all these downhills are just so easy to run so fast, and it's just so hard on the body this early in the season. Talking about the fog, that's one of the reasons I thought it was a good idea to try to go. It was out of sight, out of mind. I was hoping that
because typically the visibility up there is
typically
miles.
You can see people for minutes away. They're like, oh yeah, I know exactly where he is. But I think the fog played in my favor today. Of I got a little bit out of sight. And hopefully they didn't know where I was.
That's
what
funny.
I was hoping.
I'd love to have you guys both comment on it. That's me just letting Eli go off into the distance to glory there. But I was talking to, I think it was Adam Scholand at the end, and we were just making the comment that, the climbs, they put your heart rate up the whole way. And then the descents are so fast that you don't really get to ease off. Maybe Tabor and Eli both provide your perspective on that.
Yeah, I started looking forward to the uphills because the downhills were so fast. And I was like, my legs, by the time I get to Chicken Shack, are going to be absolutely fried. And so it got to the point that I was like, oh, an uphill, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And that's not typical for me. Where is the downhill? Save me from this.
All right, so now let's get the Tabor story here. Tony's going to pull up a clip that I got of Tabor. This is Tabor. Maybe a mile below the summit of Big Rock Ridge. There are basically 4 distinct grinding rollers on the way from the top of Big Rock Ridge to the low point at the Chicken Shack aid station. This is the first of those 4 rollers, so that's why you see Tabor running uphill here. So maybe Tabor, you could do the same thing that Eli did. Just give us a sense of, because you were running in the lead from the start. Mm-hmm. Aaron Moyer was just behind you, and it sounds like you guys were pushing each other for a bit before you finally broke away. Maybe just share a little bit about the early miles.
Yeah, so the start, it was actually really nice to have her there. I didn't know, there were so many men around us at the time that it was I had no idea if any other women were there. And then we get through the first aid station, people are like, go Aaron! And I was like, yeah, there's another chick here. This is awesome. But same thing as Eli, I felt like we were pretty controlled going to the first aid, and then that climb that got pretty steep. I was like, I'll press it here and see if anything happens, and heard some harder breathing, and I kind of like that. And so it's a good sign. And so I decided to push a little, but she held strong through the second aid station even, and it was still pretty close by the time we got to the towers. But I just thought similar, if I can just descend super quick up and over, get out of sight, out of mind, like Eli said, hoping to create that separation. And then when you're in that position, you're hoping that they start thinking about who's behind them.
Yeah.
And I was trying to play it pretty conservative the first half of this race, just because I have not done a long run in a long time. And so I was like, I need to be very conservative and careful until I get to 20 miles. Otherwise, I could have
That was conservative? Oh, my gosh. All right, so for our viewers here, Tabor's about to come around the corner, and you can enjoy just an immaculate view down to San Francisco. Hopefully it'll be appreciated, or it'll be felt through the video screen here, because it is really beautiful up there. I think I actually made a comment to you of
you're like, look, and I was like, that is pretty incredible.
So Yeah, I mean, eventually Aaron sort of dropped back. You had, I think, a 4-minute gap at Chicken Shack at that point. You won by 8 minutes or something like that.
so, yeah.
Eventually, Lindsay caught back up. So, is this your first 50K finish after dropping out of OCC?
Yeah.
This was your first 50K.
This was my first 50K
Oh my
finish.
God.
Since that, yeah.
Unbelievable.
I think my quads are going to be feeling
Yeah,
this one for a
this is
little
officially the
while.
longest run of your life. Look at that beautiful view. So San Francisco is sort of on the right-hand side of the screen, the San Francisco Bay directly in front of Tabor. And you see the fire road extends out in front of her. That's the second of the 4 grinding rollers on the course. Paddy, David, you guys want to chime in here? Any comments, questions for our amazing champions here today? I'm realizing I'm hogging the mic.
Do I need to fix my form on this at all? How's the looking?
No notes.
You guys played such like similar kind of strategies in your race, especially like at the same times, kicking up out of that first aid station and the same push off the top of Big Rock Ridge. Was that planned? Do you guys do you ever plan similar race strategies, or what are you talking about in the days leading up to the race?
We did not have a plan leading up to this race. So that it kind of ended up that way. I think it's just how much we talk about race strategies in general that it kind of ended up being so similar, I think. And especially like with how you have to approach a race like this that is early season, but a lot of runnable vert. I think it's one of those races you have to be pretty careful, but if you make a gap early, it can balloon up real quick towards the end if you're still feeling okay.
Were you guys getting any feedback on the course about how big your leads were, or were you just assuming that somebody was right behind you?
I had a couple people say that I had 2 minutes at Chicken Shack. But I had looked back, the climb after Chicken Shack, it zigzags back and forth and back and forth. And so I had looked back and I had figured that had
that lower part you can see back.
I had figured that had gone up since Chicken Shack. So I was climbing as well as I could without going too hard there.
I was just getting updates on you. And then someone's like, Eli's
That was
finished.
me. I was like, no need to respond, but Eli's in the lead.
I was like, this is very nice. And then someone on that last climb was like, Eli finished at 3:19. I'm like, cool. I'm like, still out here. Like, thanks.
From all, we were at Big Rock and we were cheering everyone going through. And one of my favorite interactions is when we said to Tabor that Eli passed and like his heart rate is probably less than 100. He was looking fine. And she just shouts back at us, "Story of my life."
I am. It's like Eli just like whisking biscuits, running up hills, not breathing, and I'm like, you guys watch him. He whisks the biscuit. Put that clip up. You'll see it. He's a whisking.
Yeah.
I would say this course is like California's greatest hits. There's just a lot of again, like you said, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. You can't really get that anywhere, maybe in the world, maybe in the US. So I'm curious how you guys would train for this. Given you don't have to deal with seasons and stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the things that's challenging is that it's got a ton of vert, but it's early in the season. Obviously, you guys live in a place where winter exists. For us, it's easier to get the vert. So,
yeah, I think one of the biggest things is having good climbing speed, but durable enough legs. That's one of the biggest things that you can do to get ready for a race like this. Is just make sure that you can keep running the whole time, because it's so easy to run really fast down those hills, and then you get to the next hill and you're like, oh, I can't run anymore because my quads I left those on the hill.
I left this before Chicken Shack.
yeah. Were you guys out there together, David and Paddy? Maybe you guys could share some of your observations of seeing the leaders come through and any body language judgments you were assessing, and how things played out?
I think we were posted up at mile 14, and it was kind of, still kind of early-ish. But at that point, we saw Eli, what he was talking about, where he was kind of playing games a little bit. You could tell he was just so much more happier, just happy-go-lucky, throwing a party with us. And then the people behind him were just really feeling worked and saying they were worked. And then kind of same with Tabor. I think when she came up, she was all talk and all smiles, and we were just having full conversations with her. So it was early enough in the race where we could kind of have a gauge, but not like a full gauge of how tired people are.
God, that's so frustrating. Hanging with Eli for 5 minutes and being like on the edge of hospitalization. And meanwhile, they're whisking biscuits, as they say, having a good time.
Did you get a PR today? Was this the longest you stayed with a runner at the Big Alta?
Definitely. No, last year I lasted like 18 minutes, didn't I?
He ran the whole first half with me last year.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, maybe we can let you guys go here. We've got the podium presentation in about an hour, but what I'd love to hear, I mean, you guys came back, double champions. Eli, the only 50K champion in the men's side in Big Alta history. And Tabor forevermore owns the Tabor Hemming Award. So if you ever come, we decided originally it was if you ever win both the 28K and the 50K, you win the Tabor Hemming Cup. But now, if you even finish both the 28K and the 50K, you are recognized as a Tabor Hemming Cup recipient.
All right.
Okay? So in 2 years
very
of Big Alta
prestigious.
history, Tabor has won both of our races, both distances.
If you make a longer one, I don't think I'm going to do the triple.
We teased that yesterday. It could happen. Could happen.
We'll work on you in the next year. Yeah, we'll get.
Eli will try.
Maybe Eli, I'd love to hear from you just the comparison between courses. You know, obviously you ran, 20 minutes faster today, which was about what I was estimating it would be 15 to 20 minutes faster. How did it feel just in comparison to last year's race?
Yeah, I definitely assumed it was going to be about 15 minutes. Like I was guessing about a 3:25 was going to win it. But then again, when we were running out that first hill, I was like, oh, well, maybe not.
Yeah.
It was definitely a different style of running. You could be a little bit more dangerous leading into Chicken Shack, like going up those climbs. I was happy to go into that dangerous pace a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Whereas if I knew the Whopper was coming, I probably would have been a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
Because I think we saw last year, Matt Daniels went in with 2 minutes behind me on that, and then came out with like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was just one of those things. You can hemorrhage so much time on the Whopper,
And people did today.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I think it was definitely still a fun course. Like I absolutely loved it, but very different leading into how you approach it and how you attack it.
Yeah. I think there'll be fewer people cursing at me at the finish line this year with no Whopper. Any final comments or questions for our champions here, guys? Where are we going to see you guys next? Canyons 50K?
Yes, but we'll do Desert Rats 21K because it's local. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but then we'll be at Canyon.
Yeah, next big race, Broken Arrow.
Going for Team USA? 46K, or what are you doing?
Okay, I have a thing here. I don't know if it's douchey for me to take a spot because I'm racing CCC.
Okay. Right.
So I don't know. I have to, I want a spot and I want to race Worlds because I think it's a great course for me. But is it a bad course for me after CCC 3 weeks earlier?
It is. I totally understand. I mean, I think that's a reasonable concern to have. But, I mean, what you can do is go earn your spot and then make that decision a little bit later on. But I don't think anybody would begrudge you for taking a big swing at CCC and seeing if you can turn it around for the world champs. And the short distance race in Confranc, what's the actual distance of that? Like, is it possible to do the double 4 weeks apart?
It's a marathon. 42.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
So 100K
tough.
followed by a marathon 4 weeks later.
Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I see it as possible. I also don't want to be douchey and take a spot from somebody.
What's coming to my brain right now? When I became familiar with Eli and Tabor Hemming was at the VK at the Broken Arrow when you guys were both wearing those Eagle t-shirts, the stars and bars. We got to see you in the red, white, and blue, guys. Come on.
We'll try. Right. Coming to Broken Arrow.
Yeah. So you'll do, Tabor, you'll do Desert Rats, Canyons 50K, Broken Arrow 46K leading up to OCC, and potentially worlds.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I assure you, across of all of the nations of the world, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be trying to do a UTMB, CCC, OCC
Yeah.
to Worlds.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the only ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
and
I think
we're
it's
doing
different if you earn your spot versus take a resume spot.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're doing Twisted Forks.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Utah.
Cool. Hell yeah.
We like to hop in a lot of races.
So fun.
We have a problem.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think this, if anything, your performance today, I love that you're doing it on our home, like course, home trails, just to see like how fast people can run this thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, just talking to people, all our friends at the finish line, they're just like, how is that real? Like watching, like talking about both your times. And
Yeah.
I love that. I love that feeling. Yeah.
It really is. I mean, all right. So we should say also, would you run 4:05? Let me see. 4:04:58 was your time. Last year, Lottie Brinks ran 4:42 with, of course, this is a faster course, but you still ran 40 minutes faster almost.
Yeah.
So
I was thankful. For
amazing first 50K. Any comments? Do you want to brag about your amazing 50K debut? No, it's amazing.
It's not our 50K
Nothing,
debut.
Just for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just for the
Oh,
year.
first 50K this year.
I think you said first 50K since OCC.
Yeah, okay.
Is what got her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which 50Ks have you done?
I did Canyons last year.
Oh, right. Okay.
Kodiak.
Oh, and Kodiak. Oh,
And
gosh.
way too cool.
Okay. So you're a veteran. You're
guess.
experienced.
She's a California.
I mean, that's really, that's,
California.
she's a California 50K runner.
Yeah, 50Ks in California.
yeah. Yeah, those don't count. Those are too easy. No, but seriously, like 4:05 on the Big Alta 50K course, that's smoking fast, Tabor. That's amazing. Eli, 3:19. David, what did we say at the finish line? Like, God, that's insane. I was like,
Yeah.
4:19 is
Well,
elite on this course.
So Jeremy and I, the RD, were just kind of like predicting your time, and we're like, oh, you know, without the climb, this could be about 10 minutes. So we're expecting you around 3:28, 3:30 maybe, and then you just come running in. We're like, oh, well, we're wrong.
Think I can get a UTMB index on this one?
Oh,
I didn't
yes.
get one last year.
Yes, we do need to do that. We do need to do that.
Okay.
Thank you for calling us out publicly on that. I'll make sure.
That's what I'm here for.
And
Make sure that happens.
And if you
I'll
could
make
do
sure that
last year's
happens.
one as well, I'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, okay.
Do
Yeah,
it.
we'll backlog it.
Don't usually get a podium.
Retroactively.
Sorry, guys.
No, I think it was one of my like better races last year, and I was like, oh, well, I wonder what my score
Yeah,
was.
well-
And I look and like, oh, I don't have a score.
We'll figure that out this year. Well, Eli, Tabor, congratulations. Thank you guys so much for coming back to our race. Just freaking so impressed and can't wait to continue following the rest of your seasons and the rest of your careers. So congratulations. I guess we'll see you at the podium presentation in
Thanks
a little
for
less than
having
an
us.
hour.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for putting on awesome events.
And
Awesome.
everyone should come do the Big Alta.
All right, Tony, make sure the camera's on them so everybody can watch them get up off the couch here.
All right, let's see it, Tabor.
Oh yeah, my hips.
Amazing.
All right.
Well.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah. All right, we'll see you guys back over there shortly.
Guys.
David, Paddy, holy smokes, guys. I think what we should do now is probably talk about the rest of the men's and women's top 10s. Maybe let's start with the men because I think Tony's got the next clip locked and loaded here, which is Eddie Owens and Remy LaRue dropping off the top of Big Rock Ridge. This is about another 5-minute clip here. Saw some old-timer mountain bikers up there hanging out here as we see Eddie Owens coming into frame here just behind him. Remy LaRue. So our audience will get to see them screaming down this hill off the top of the high point in today's 50K race. Cutting to the chase, these guys finished in this position. Eddie, second place. Remy LaRue, third place. We talked all about Eddie in the pre-race show, just identifying him as potentially a dark horse. Obviously, a lot of people know about him, but he hasn't done a lot of stuff on sort of the national and international level of trail running and doesn't race that often. This was his 50K debut. Opening it up for comments.
Were these guys in third and fourth here or second and third? Had they
Second
already,
and third.
They had already made the pass on the climb.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the only reason Eddie Owens is a dark horse is just because he's untried at these distances, and maybe like kind of on a international world class level, whatever you want to call it. But all of us here locally know him. Like this is what he does. And we saw it today. He just like really kind of buried himself towards the end. And it was amazing to see. I was talking about it yesterday, how he's such a great racer. And we saw that today. Like he passed for second. And at the finish line, he was still zoned in at the finish line and like wasn't speaking to anybody, no high fives, just trying to get to the end. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And,
you can see I'm having a hard time just staying on Remy here. But yeah, I mean, to what you said, Eddie made the comment, you know, how Eli said Eddie split his watch before the second climb going back up Loma Alta. Then Eddie made the comment at the finish line that he felt that everybody was pushing the climbs too hard, and he actually like held back and let David and Eli go, which of course put him out of contention for the win probably without staying on Eli's wheel, but maybe helped him save a couple of matches for this descent and the final climb back up to the Queenstone Fire Road.
Like that's a wise maneuver for a first time 50K as well. I'm proud of him to hear proud to hear that.
Yeah, and I think it goes like he was just running within himself because he, you know, I was talking about yesterday how he ran 18 miles on this course last week and probably knows the segments and the split times on each of these things and he knows what he's capable of. So like in a race setting, that doesn't change. Like your physiology doesn't change. So it's like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. All right, so everybody admire me catching back up to Eddie Owens here with the camera here.
And wait, did you drop Remy?
Yeah, I just put the gas in on Remy here. I had to go catch up to
aging backwards. The anti-Benjamin Button.
Yeah, so
just keeping up.
I guess we should say for our audience here, they will have seen the end of the Eli clip, him going off the top of the radio towers there, and then me picking these guys up in that exact same spot. That gap was only a minute between Eli and Eddie and Remy at this point. It was 7 to Eddie at the finish line. So Eli did run the last, call it half of the race, 6 minutes faster than anybody, including Eddie. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, big respect to Eddie, man. Stepping up into the big leagues here against it. Eli Hemming, who I made this comment at the finish line. Eli won OCC last year. That makes him the best 50K runner in the world, basically, right? And Eddie to come here, stick with the guys for at least like the first half of the race, still sort of keep everybody honest and finish in second place in 3:26.
Yeah.
That's stupid fast.
I would also add Remy ran a really smart race because when we saw him, he was running with Ryan Becker and, you know, just kind of really biding their time, not working very hard at that point. And then obviously there was like a key drop at some point in the race, and like these guys just kind of like ate that up. And this is kind of what we're seeing now, where they're just really trying to like pick up the spots.
Yeah. From talking to Eddie's coach, he was saying that like Eddie had like 10 gels out there. He fueled well, so a lot of
nice
for a first time 50K or first time going beyond really 2 hours. He did a lot of things very well today.
Yeah. See, at this point, you may have just seen Eddie. Yeah, see? He doesn't know that it's me behind him there. He thinks it's Remy. I was like, don't worry, buddy. It's just me. Just me with the camera. I'm just about to let these guys go here in just a second. This is right before that first of the 4 rollers up on the ridge.
Just to respond to the chat, I think we'll let David tell why he dropped. You know, it's not our place to say anything.
Yeah, I mean, what has been said publicly is that, you know, he rolled his ankle, and I don't know how severe it was, but, you know, obviously these guys are pushing VO2 max pace for 31 miles in this case. Things happen out there. When I was running with David, in fact, we have a clip of it. His left shoe was untied. I don't think we'll pull it up here in today's show, but I said, hey, just so you know, your left shoe's untied. At that point, he had already made it clear to me, you know, it's not my day here, but, you know, shout out to David. We're super glad he would come out to our race. And you may have seen the video that Ryan did of him training in Boulder. Obviously, he's got much bigger goals this season leading up to the Western States 100. He's already said publicly he plans to go back to Leadville and Javelina. Yeah. So, you know, this is the first race of what is going to be a long and hopefully prolific season for David. Obviously, we're always rooting for him, and just wasn't his day here today. But
saw him at the finish line talking to people as he does. You know, very generous with his time.
Yeah. Cool. Let's I'm going to bang through the top 10 men, and then we'll transition to the women, and we've got a couple more clips that we're going to show the audience here. So again, we'll start from the top. Eli Hemming, our champion, 3:19.30. Eddie Owens in second, 3:26.36. Third place, Remy LaRue, 3:28.30. So less than 2 minutes behind Eddie. This guy, Johnny Luna Lima, finishes in fourth place. A big comeback in that last 7 mile stretch, 3:38.30.
So he went from eighth. What was he? Eighth at the first aid station. He was sixth when we saw him, and fourth at the end.
Yeah.
This is not a Johnny Luna Lima course.
Yeah.
Johnny is probably the best technical descender in the US.
Yeah.
This is a fast runnable course. He said he just wanted to run a patient race, a strong race, and he was super proud of what he did today. It's cool to see him do well on such a contrasting course to what he's used to doing.
I was chatting with him because I said, so where'd you catch the guys? You catch them on the climb, remembering that you made the comment that he's more of a descender than a climber. And that's what he said. He said, yeah, surprisingly, I caught him on the climb and then opened a bigger gap on the final descent, which the three of us know is fast and steep downhill on Fire Road. So behind Johnny Luna Lima, who was in fourth, was Josh Park. This guy's cool. He lives in Springfield, Oregon, but he's from Athens, Ohio. So he was up there like in the mix on the ridge to the point where, again, it's somebody I don't recognize. So of course I say, what's your name, buddy? Hey, I'm Josh. Sure enough, finishes top 5 here, 3:41.50, a fast time. Sixth place, Adam Sholin from Flagstaff, Arizona. He was in the mix early. Got to take our hat off to this guy.
What position was he when we saw him?
Fourth.
Third, fourth?
Yeah, just about. He was about third or fourth. And yeah, again, another guy who's probably just racing smart, biding his time, and pick up some of the carnage up top. Yeah.
Behind him, Ryan Becker, who faded a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he was sitting in fourth or fifth on the ridge. He finished in seventh, 3:44.27. Made the comment to me that he just didn't have enough like actual run training in his legs. He and Lindsay Allison, his partner, who we'll get to on the women's side of the race. They live in Telluride, Colorado, so definitely a bit of a shock to the system in terms of weather and a lot of running vertical in the Big Alta race, which they don't have a lot of access to in the winter months. In eighth place was Michael Nanazko, 3:46.34. Ninth place, Matt Bigman from Portland, Oregon, 3:50. And in 10th place,
let's go.
Brett Hornig.
Conversational face. Mr. Conversational face himself. Fast media guy.
Media guy.
We'll give him the title today. I was talking with Brett towards the end. He was just talking about fending off Tabor the whole time. It was a lot of fun.
No, he put a gap on Tabor there. I mean, because when I saw him, Tabor was only like a minute and a half back, and it looks like Brett was able to finish. It 8 minutes ahead of her.
What was Brett's time?
3:57.55.
So 10 people, more than 10, maybe under 4 hours.
I'm wondering if he might be in top dad too.
Let's see. 11 people under 4 hours. Elliot Carden was the one in 11th, and he and Brett were in the finishing stretch together. Yeah. So awesome stuff. All right, Tony, if you could pull up the clip of, just do Aaron Moyer first.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this one. So this is Aaron Moyer, who's a new name to me.
You are
from Carson City, Nevada. Carson City, Nevada.
Yeah.
So I just was chatting with her at the finish line. She said she went to college with Cole Campbell, stud, who's the defending USATF 50K champion, and Emily Hawgood, a fan favorite at the College of Idaho, where a good friend of ours, Maddie Lay, a former Marin County trail runner,
Paddy's coach,
works as an instructor. So anyway, Aaron Moyer put the pressure on Tabor early. At where this clip is, the gap was still probably less than 2 minutes. Aaron ended up fading to third place. Lindsay Allison passed her in the closing stretch. We'll get to the clip of Lindsay here momentarily, but Aaron Moyer, a new name, that's putting up a big result here. Let me pull up her official time. She finished in 4:13 flat. Fast.
Which amazing on this course. Yeah.
Again,
25 minutes faster than last year with probably a 15-minute course difference. Yep. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, a type of performance that probably would have been in the mix to win the race last year. So shout out to Aaron Moyer. I mean, this is what's so fun about the sport right now. It's just like at every race, there's a new name. Like, remember Will Murray at Black Canyon? You're just like, who is this guy?
Random baller.
Random ballers, right?
Yeah.
Trademark.
This is great.
So, yeah, this is the same thing where she's looking over her shoulder like, are you the camera guy or are you somebody sneaking up on me? So, yeah, Erin Moyer, a new name here at the Big Alta 50K, ended up finishing in third place, passed by Lindsay Allison. We'll get to her clip here momentarily. So maybe as we transition here, let's start banging through the women's top 10. Of course, Tabor Hemming, our champion, 4:04.58. Lindsay Allison second, 4:11.02. Erin Moyer, who we're watching run now, 4:13 flat. Fourth place, Keely Henninger.
Let's go.
Who's been busy AF as a med school student at the moment.
Keely also, from mile 1 through mile 30, she just looks so fresh and happy to be out there, which is like, that's the spirit that
she finished looking like that too.
Exactly.
Like big smile. Her partner JT was there. Their dogs were happy to greet her. So Keely opening her season here at the Big Alta. And I did see her on the Canyons 100K start list. And we should probably, before we wind down here today, spend a couple minutes on what happened in Italy. But we'll get to that here a little bit later. Moving on in fifth place, Lindsay Dwyer.
Let's go.
San Francisco Running Company's own.
Probably in the middle of a 150-mile week.
Really?
Yeah, she
did something 140 miles already this week and has a long run tomorrow.
Getting ready for the Cocodona 250. And we were all joking, all the locals that were like, oh yeah, she'll probably do another like 12-mile cool down after this run. So,
Oh my gosh.
Again, baller.
Yeah, I was talking to Paulius and is it Aaron Long, the other 200-mile guy?
Oh, Aaron Kabbalah.
Yeah, Kabbalah. Aaron Long, of course, is from Daybreak. Aaron Kabbalah and Paulius and I started running out up to the ridge here, and they made the comment that Lindsay was like going into Cocodona as a dark horse, was probably gonna like not be pushing the gas pedal too much today, treating it more like a training run.
Yeah.
It seems like she put some gas into it. She finished fifth.
We're hoping that she's the one to give Courtney a little run at Cocodona. That'll be fun.
Yeah, the women's race at Cocodona is going to be very exciting. We're going to be there, and it's going to be cool to see. So behind Lindsay Dwyer in fifth was Paige Borges from Mammoth Lakes, California. She made the comment at the finish line that she was sixth place last year, but she ran an hour and 15 minutes faster.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so. And then in eighth place, a name that I think, Paddy, you mentioned in the pre-race show, it was Susanna Turnakova.
Yeah, lives in San Francisco City.
Yeah. So she was, I'm sorry, I skipped over. Annie Mervang was in seventh place, 4:34. Susanna was eighth, 4:36. Amy Cameron from GOO.
Yeah.
4:39.22, and in 10th place, Abigail Swift, 4:42.37. Tony's going to pull up the last clip that we have to share here today, which is Lindsay Allison. And again, Lindsay was our...
So Lindsay grew up in San Rafael.
Yeah.
So town next over from here. And they make it back to... She comes back every Christmas. We actually get out and run on these courses with them a lot.
Yeah.
Which is super fun. With herself and Ryan. We're pushing big to get them to move back here. We would love to see that. A little online hint.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see how well she raced today, coming from working her way up.
Yeah, I think after this race, I was like, do you feel redeemed? Because, she had a really tough Black Canyon, as many people did this year, where, you spend 20, 30 miles of the race like thrown up. This race was, she just signed with Ultra, and she wanted to have a really good, when you sign a contract, you want to have some good performances right away, and she felt that she had that with this race. So,
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Do you know what she's building towards from here?
Her and Ryan tend to race a lot, so it could be canyons, it could be something next week. Who knows?
They're so great.
Yeah,
I love
they're
them.
amazing.
Yeah, it was great to have them come join us. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have the clip of Lindsay Allison, so we'll find it and we'll send it to Lindsay, and she can use it on her Instagram or whatever, and people can enjoy it there. But what a great race it was today. Obviously, we have a bunch of people still out on course right now. We've had 118 finishers of our 250 starters. We're going to have to start making our way back over to the finish line here soon, so we can wrap up with just like a quick chit-chat about tomorrow's race, the 28K. I think Tony's got a graphic that we can just look at the course briefly. So we'll see. It's just a clean, beautiful loop from the Marinwood Community Center. The first high point is Loma Alta. Screaming fast descent to the road crossing at Lucas Valley. Big climb up to Big Rock Ridge. And then fast but rolling and challenging descent back to Marinwood. Paddy's going to be in the race tomorrow. Paddy, how you feeling, bro?
Older than I was a year ago.
Me too.
So that's the main feeling. It's once again, it's a deeper, like last year was a deep field. Now it's got a little bit deeper again. So it's sure with Andy and Johanna and Levi Miller, it's going to be the men's race is going to be fast. The women's race is going to be fast. I'm excited to get into the mix of it. So I'm not holding out. Don't put me on your fantasy. Or do.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, speaking of fantasy, let's just bang through a couple of the names of people who are going to be racing tomorrow. Maybe start with the women. I know you had a couple of names that you were looking at.
So Emily's, who's kind of a late sign up for the race, is, I would say, surely
Emily's
the
Von
heavy,
Avis,
top
top 10 at CCC.
A heavy favorite for this, coming in off of Skimo season, so hasn't done a huge amount of running. Lives in Bozeman, Montana, so hasn't been able to run a huge amount, but is going to have a hell of a lot of fitness, and very impressive runner who cut her teeth in trail running here in San Francisco. Yeah. Moved to Montana 4 or 5 years ago. But after Emo, I think it's the battle of the quad runners.
Yeah, I think we got the top two quad dipsy women coming back, Ruby Lindquist and Sylvia Abel. I know that Sylvie has been kind of dealing with some health stuff in the last few months, but stoked to kind of see those two dueled out. I know Ruby lives down in the Tahoe area, and she's a very, very strong trail runner, uphill runner. So it's gonna be stoked to see how she does.
Rad.
It's actually been fun to see Ruby come down. She came down and did the Mount Tam hill climb last year as well. So it's been coming down from the Sierra Nevada to train and race a lot down here, which has been super fun to see.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing her and meeting her tomorrow. Men's side, we've got Andy Wacker, Darren Thomas, Levi Miller. He was just behind you last year, wasn't he?
He was a good bit behind me. Good bit behind me.
Levi Miller, a 4-minute miler back in his day at Georgetown, just had his second kid.
And randomly just ran a 107 half marathon in training last week.
Frustratingly talented.
If you look at the current fitness of a lot of these guys, like Andy Wacker just did that Gold Mountain,
the Gold Hill
climb 102, whatever, PR last year, or FKT last week. He's carrying a lot of fitness coming into this and a lot of speed coming into this. So I would say it would surely be heavy favorite for this.
Yeah.
Johan, I've raced against him, I think in Mammoth last year maybe, but I'm excited to see. I haven't met him yet, so I'm excited to see what he can do.
That was going to be my closing comment is Joan De Leon. I forgot to mention it both in the pre-race interviews with Eli and Tabor and now in the post-race interviews. He's being coached by the Hemmings. Oh. Yes. So Joan, who of course is Freetrail's favorite runner, is what we're calling him. We're newly signed as a Satisfy athlete. Just such a great kid. He's going to be on the 28K start list tomorrow too. Yeah. So
then Levi Miller, who is arguably one of the best, most talented trail runners in the Bay Area, former All-American at Georgetown. A few weeks ago, he did his own little backyard half marathon, ran something like a 106, 107, which is frankly absurd. Yeah. There's another couple of names from the South Bay of Andrew Cantonese, very fast runner, who I'm interested to see what can do. Who else have we got?
Unfortunately,
Darren Thomas.
Yeah, I mentioned him. Unfortunately, no Dan Kurtz, no Ryan Hoke. Those are kind of the two big scratches. And now just looking at fantasy, Matt Bigman ran the 50K today. He's not going to do the 28K tomorrow. So for those who are keeping track at home, you might want to toggle your fantasy ballot. Anyway, it's going to be a great race tomorrow. So let's talk
Robinson
about
as well.
Yeah, Ben Robinson. Let's talk about Keanti for 2 seconds and then we'll wrap up. We got to I woke up this morning. First thing I did is check in. And it's like, Jim Walmsley has a 35-minute gap. And I was just like, yes.
I woke up this morning to like 10 screenshots from David with the last 3 hours of coverage.
I'll give everyone my experience with Keanti last night, where I literally went to sleep with my iPad stream with the stream going next to me, and I would just fall in and out of sleep, seeing where they're at in the race. At some point, 3 hours in, Jim, Vincent, and Killian were all running together for like 3 hours. I went to bed, woke up. Somehow Jim had gapped these guys by 30 minutes or something like that. he finishes the race, and all of a sudden I could see Vincent racing and kind of laboring a little bit. And they're just the mountain bikers were just, they had their camera on Killian.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's about to catch him.
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting there at 6 a.m. losing my mind, like here in California, and texting whoever I knew was awake. I texted Debo. I saw he posted, texted our chat groups. So this is great. This is it. This is as good of a Saturday as I can possibly get.
I posted the Rick Rubin meme, just waking up to see Jim Walmsley in the lead at Keanti, just vibe coding, you know? Yeah.
So what? That's Killian and Vincent got the golden tickets, and then who got the women's golden tickets?
So
Did Abby
just
Hall?
real quick here, let's just make it clear. The men's race at Western States is going to be the best 100-mile race in the history of the world. Jim Walmsley, Rod Farvard, Hayden Hawks, Adam Peterman, David Roche, Killian Jornet, Vincent Bouillard, Rod Farvard, or Dan
Shane.
Jones, who I just saw race in Tarawera and is an absolute beast. Like, I don't know how anybody in the world beats Dan Jones, and he's like not even in that top
Is Hayden coming
list, right? Hayden's coming back.
Hayden's coming back.
Shane.
It's going to be the best race ever.
I think for the last handful of years at Western States, I've raced it, I've crewed it, I paced it. This year, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to go up to the escarpment and just watch the whole race unfold from beginning to end.
I just want to say also, I just love Jim's approach to this, right?
Yeah.
He has the M1 bib. There's no reason he had to fly to Italy to do this race. He did it because he knew those guys wanted to come to Western States. He's close with Vincent. I mean, like, they're buddies, right? I don't think he was going over there with any malicious intent, but it's clearly like, okay, I'm going to see how strong these guys are on a race course that mimics how they might be able to perform at Western States. And he beats two of, Killian, obviously the best we've ever seen in the sport, beat him by 30 minutes.
Handedly. Yeah.
Obviously, Killian, we should say, had a child like 5 days ago. Hasn't run in a while. It's not really sleeping.
Let me also add the Killian thing is that what the commentators were saying is that he booked a taxi so that when he finished, he can literally get in a taxi, get to the airport, and go back home.
Legend.
That's how new of a father.
He was in the car within 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I think,
like
at the finish.
he gave some quick post race interviews, whatever, and then he just took off. And
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good
But
for
it's
him.
also that is expected. He should be doing that.
Yeah,
He just said a
right.
kid 5 days ago.
Of course, absolutely. But
Best
he
of them.
came there to do a job. That was to get a golden ticket. He got his golden ticket. Killian is coming to Western States.
Coming back.
14 years after his victory.
Amazing.
15 years from the Unbreakable.
Unbreakable too.
Season.
This is it.
Oh my God. All right. Anything else we need to get to in today's show? Am I forgetting anything?
Who got the golden tickets? The female golden tickets.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we should just do a quick
I know
So Abby Hall was in the
Hall-
podium.
No,
but it was
there's
like
actually a
fourth.
great story. Fiona Pascal
Yeah.
won the women's race, who's Beth Pascal's sister.
Man.
So I don't know of any other time in Western States history where there have been siblings that have, a good chance
Yeah.
to both be champions. So,
That's wild.
and then I think it was Joanna Antilla who got second or third. Let me just pull it up here. We should give the women a quick shout out here before we go. Bear with me.
God, has there been I can't think of any other siblings that've been in the mix.
Neither can I.
What other siblings are there in the sport? Apart from David Lamb and Paddy O'Leary.
Yeah.
All right, the UTMB live tracker's not working on my iPad now. So shout out to the women who got their golden
I know
tickets out
Abby
there.
Hall was up in the podium podium position like for the whole day and dueling it out
I
with
think fourth.
there was this like Euro mountain runner. I can't remember her name, but she has like really short hair, and I think she was leading for a lot of the race. I don't know if anyone in the chat knows.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was amazing. Great show, guys. So we're going to be back here in studio at noon tomorrow to wrap up the 28K. We're going to try and do something similar where we have a bunch of footage that we can show the audience. We'll wrap up kind of the whole week, and then we all get to engage in the after party.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Celebrate your birthday, Dylan Bowman.
Debo
The Ryan
and Ryan's
Debo
joint birthday
birthday
party.
party.
Yes.
Yeah. Couple quick things to just say before we wrap up. Big thank you to our sponsors for supporting Freetrail here at the Big Alta and everywhere. Goldwyn, the sickest outdoor brand in the history of humanity. from Japan. All the design and attention to detail of Japanese craftsmanship that you would associate. That is Goldwyn. Go check them out. Speedland, of course, you know Speedland, the best footwear ever invented in the history of the world. They just dropped the new shoe for Cocodona, the GSCCD. Go pick up a pair on pre-order. That road shoe too is absolutely fire. The RX FPY. Go pick up a pair of those. You can find our links and discount codes in the show notes of the description here today. Also, Never Second. Yeah. Best nutrition on the planet. It was out on the race course. It powered all these athletes to phenomenal performances here this weekend. So make sure you check out the links below. Big thank you to our partners, Daybreak, for helping us put on the races. They're holding down the finish line while we do this show. We're about to head back over there and relieve them of their duties. Big thank you to the team behind the scenes. Tony with a Sony, clipping bangers out there today too. Go check out the Freetrail Instagram account and see some of the great work that Tony did. And of course, our other man behind the scenes here, Ryan Thrower, who I think is putting together some sort of video project.
Hardest working man in showbiz.
Quietly back there, just probably also putting together an art project. Can't wait to see it, Ryan. Great job out there today. Paddy O'Leary, David Lamb, amazing co-host. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming in studio.
So much fun.
How great is that new hat, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, all this new Freetrail swag. I'm not just saying this because we're here. It's been incredible. I just can't wait to wear this stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
And we just got a nice little Mountain Outpost gave us an update on the golden tickets. It was Joanna and Tila, second place.
Okay, amazing. So, yeah, and of course, it was only 2 golden tickets for both men and women. And Jim has the M1 bib, so the 2 tickets bumped down. I did also see a question about where's Zach Miller these days. Wouldn't it be great to see him at Western States? And yes, it would. He's doing Hard Rock this year. Yeah.
I saw him at a VK crushing like top 6 or 7 in the Trans-Gran Canaria VK 3 weeks ago. So he's rallying, he's turning back.
Love to see
We're going
it.
to see him at Hard Rock.
Love to see it.
Making donuts and focusing on Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Slinging donuts at a cross-country ski track near you in Bend.
Yeah. I guess final ask for me here. If you could please smash that subscribe button here on Freetrail's YouTube channel. We would be super appreciative. Big thanks to everybody who's watching. Again, 12 p.m. tomorrow, we're going to be back in studio here to wrap up the Big Alta race weekend. And we really appreciate you tuning in each and every day. For the team in the studio here, I'm Debo.